Let's address the big one. The myth is screen time is always harmful. Let's explore how to strike a healthy balance. But before we get into the facts, take a second to like this video and subscribe so more people can learn how to navigate screen time with confidence. This myth that screen time is always negative has come out of many concerns over the rapid rise of technology and the rapid rise of technology use by children who are younger and younger and younger, and that potential negative impact on their development. Let's look and see what the research actually says. There's some studies that were done by the American Academy of Pediatrics that showed that it's really about quality over quantity. Their studies showed that high quality screen time, such as some educational apps, will actually support learning in children. There are some guidelines that were drawn up by the American Academy of Pediatrics. Basically, what it comes down to is the younger children are, the less they should be on technology. And their overall guidelines for children in elementary school is just that children are only looking at high quality content and that their free time on screens is limited to no more than 2 hours a day. There was some other research done that showed that in today's world, children are on screens an average of 7 hours every single day. That's just too much. And the research also shows that most of that time kids spend on technology is junk. It is just flooding their brain with all sorts of chemicals, and it does turn technology into a drug for children. But this study by the American Academy of Pediatrics showed that if you switch that, if you flip it and you find some high quality programming on YouTube for kids to watch, or if they are watching something or playing an educational game, or they're on some educational apps, and that time is limited. Again, even with that high quality programming, you don't want them on it all day long or for extended periods of time for several days in a row, but that those things can support their learning. It can make them more excited to learn, and it can help them learn things more quickly. But there's an important caveat to much of this technology use in children, and this is something that we have got to drive home with parents. We've got to talk more about parental involvement in children's technology use. And the main thing that I want to talk about here is what's called co-viewing, where a parent is actually sitting with their child and they are watching the programming with the child, or if the child is on an app and playing a game or whatever it might be, that a parent is there with them. There was some research done by Common Sense Media that showed that co-viewing content, that a parent watching with their child and engaging in the content with their child, will actually enhance comprehension of the content by the child, and it turns screen time into an interactive experience rather than one where the child completely just zones out and is in their own world for hours and hours and hours and then doesn't know how to interact with people. That co-viewing also ensures that your child is not exposed to anything that would be developmentally inappropriate for them. The algorithms on all of these apps are not designed to help your child learn more. They are designed to help your child become more dependent on staying in the app. It is designed to fuel their brain, and it is designed to keep them scrolling and keep them on their apps for longer and longer and longer. And sometimes what that algorithm can lead to, because your child will find it so interesting and because of the other things that your child has viewed, is it will lead them down a rabbit hole, and then they will be exposed to things and see things and hear about things that they are not developmentally prepared to see and hear about. That co-viewing is important for so many reasons. And if you will co-view with your child, you can turn technology from a or technology use and screen time from a passive experience into an interactive experience and a social experience where you are building a relationship with your child. The Pediatrics Journal found that it's just important to moderate screen time, that it is important to limit it down to that no more than 2 hours. That doesn't mean get all the way to 2 hours every single day. And it doesn't mean that if you go to 3 hours that you're a terrible person or a terrible parent, but it does mean to really moderate it. And it's so important to balance that screen time with physical activity and family engagement. If you can moderate the screen time and limit it and balance it, those things, according to this article in the journal, are actually linked to healthy development. Children are going to be exposed to screens. To say that they should never be allowed on any screen at all is also setting them up for failure. Because then one day they will be exposed to a screen and they won't know how to manage it. But if you help them manage it when they're young, and you help them moderate, and you help them balance it with other things, then as they grow, their brain will learn on its own through that repetition of your modeling. It will learn how it can moderate that screen time on its own and how it will balance that screen time on its own. So when it comes to screens, not everything is terrible, and your child is not going to be terrible or set up for failure because they watch things on YouTube. But it is important to set boundaries, prioritize that high quality content, and engage with your kids. Don't just use it as a babysitter. Engage with your kids. Co-view with them during that screen time. If you have enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to like and subscribe. Like and subscribe for more episodes on parenting with purpose.